University, Dr. Maria Luz Masina, Vice President of the University. Please be seated. The Board of Trustees, members of the faculty and administration, our beloved parents, who we must always acknowledge, whose sacrifices and determination have made this day possible, and of course, our graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me first express to you my sincerest thanks for your invitation for me to be with you on this extremely special day as your guest of honor and speaker, and to have the chance to share this momentous occasion with you, joined by your parents and relatives, your teachers, your mentors, and your friends. But before anything else, allow me to begin by paying my respects to the great founder of your college, Engineer Roque Figueroa Tabuena, who established this first non-sectarian private educational institution in the province of Albay, and from its humble beginnings as the Albay Institute of 1941, today we have seen it metamorphose into the Bicol College, currently offering a variety of courses in the fields of liberal arts, commerce, and education, as well as high school and elementary instructional levels. Indeed, your province and Daraga have been most fortunate to have benefited largely from the wisdom and vision of Engineer Tabuena for bringing quality education to the youth of Bicol region. It has a story is told that when the great humorist the great American humorist Art Bongbong was asked to give a commencement speech, he told one graduating class. He stood up, came to the podium, and he said, "Remember, we are leaving you a perfect world. Don't screw it up." And then he bade them goodbye and he sat down. It is, according to some, the shortest and best commencement speech ever delivered. And I must say, knowing that you are anxious to begin your celebrations, I thought that maybe I should also be as concise and as brief. But today is too important for that. It will not do for your graduation. That is such an important occasion that one-liner like this would simply not suffice. My dear graduates, it is often said that graduation is one of the few authentic rites of passage that we have in our society. As a rite of passage, it is claimed that it marks a person's transition from one status to another. It looks in two directions. One retrospective, looking to the past, the other prospective, with an eye focused firmly on the future. Today, you are graduating from college, which represents the end of your formal education. But this ceremony is also called a commencement, which means the beginning of something, which points to your new face, or the new phase in your life. As in the other milestones of your life, it is fitting that your parents are here today to witness and to celebrate this rite of passage. I know I speak for every parent here today when I say that this graduation is like the very day when you came into this world. For us, that day that you were born was the most wonderful day that we have had as parents. A wonderful stroke of a wonderful blessing from on high. So graduates of 2013, your completion of all your college studies is indeed rewarding and fulfilling. You have studied long and labored hard to complete your course requirements. You have sometimes endured the terror of dealing with difficult and threatening and demanding professors. You may also have been touched by the compassion, the concern, core knowledge of the course that you have majored in. I emphasize this point because deeply held values are the only true foundation that we can build our lives as individuals upon, and in a wider plane, also as a nation. If you will permit me to share with you some lessons that I learned from my parents and my grandmother, who was also a teacher, and the training that I received from my mentors and professors here and abroad. First and most important value that one should never forget is the value of hard work and the importance of effort. Former U.S. President Calvin Coolidge was not exaggerating when he wrote, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence, not talent, not genius. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius is almost, unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. In fact, the world is full of so-called educated derelict. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, 'Press On,' has been recognized to have solved and always will solve much of the problems of the human race." Perhaps the most telling story illustrating this is that of Madame Curie and the discovery of radio. After the failure of their 487th experiment in their research for radio, her husband Pierre Curie cried out in despair, "It cannot be done! It cannot be done. Maybe in 100 years it can be done, but never in our lifetime." Madame Curie turned to him and calmly answered, "If it takes 100 years, it will be a pity. But I dare not do less than work for it as long as I live." In their next few experiments, sure enough, they have discovered radio. And speaking of perseverance, we see an example of what some of our countrymen down south, with Sultan Kiram and his people, what they have been doing these past many weeks is a vivid lesson in persistence. The Sultanate of Cebu and its people have been pressing their claim for Sabah for over a century now. Somehow, someday, their persistent efforts will bear fruit. But till then, we cannot do less than work for it as long as we live. Ladies and gentlemen, not all the news coming out in the media are bad or sad. Just last month, we were encouraged to see the news that some 10 Filipinos have made it to Forbes magazine's annual list of billionaires. The list is particularly edifying because every one of those billionaires earned their billions through patient toil, ingenious investing, and continuous build-up of their family firm, slowly and persistently. These billionaire compatriots are all worthy of emulation and admiration by all of us. But as much as we are awed and dazzled by the numbers, by the billions, there is also a corollary lesson and value that I would like to impart to you all. Earning and making money is not all there is to life. It's certainly important for our survival, for the survival of our families. But I was struck when I was studying for my master's degree. I was struck and moved by something that the great management teacher Rosabeth Cantor wrote in the Harvard Business Review. And she said, "Money should never be separated from its mission. Money is an instrument, not an end. Detached from its values, the desire for money may indeed be the root of all evil, as we are often reminded. But linked effectively to social purpose, it can be the root of opportunity that could branch out into more abundant fruits and more opportunities, not only for yourself, but also for your community, also for your country." I am certain as well as hopeful that in their own respective ways, each of our Filipino billionaires is linking their wealth to a useful and special purpose. They are creating jobs, providing services. They give to charity and share the blessings with all their countrymen. Today we are seeing more Filipinos succeed in the world. It's not just the huge sums of money that they are earning that compel our admiration. It's the way that they are succeeding through sheer talent and own skill, not to mention, again, perseverance. Thus raising the image of our people in the international scene. The perfect example, our favorite boxing champion, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao has now 8 boxing titles in 8 different weight divisions that will perhaps never be surpassed in boxing's record book. It did not happen in one day. It did not happen in one fight, but slowly and steadily through the years. I'm also awed and gratified by the way so many Filipinos are making it on the global stage as accomplished theater and cinema actors and actresses that we have in our midst, world-renowned performers in the fields of music. Filipino singing talent has become so ubiquitous that contest judges assume that whenever there is a contestant that sings very well, they must or could be Filipino. The latest example is Jessica Sanchez when she sang the U.S. national anthem for the President in the United States. Dear graduates, I have taken the time to talk about great qualities of these achievers and the qualities that have enabled them to become great, because they are undisputably the products of our country and our culture, and the values that we live by. And there are many, many more achievers in the fields of science and academics that to mention them all would take us much more time than is available. And again, I know that you are eager to begin your celebration. Our country is a community of shared values, and throughout our history, our nation has always been carried forward by our people and our values, and led by our forebears and heroes. We have risen many times from the greatest trials and adversities by caring for one another and holding on with tenacity and fortitude to our deep faith in ourselves and in the Filipino. The members of graduating class of 2013, this century is your time. It is your turn to shine in what is still a beautiful and wonderful world. Seize the day, seize the moment. And I choose my words very well, because the window of opportunity opens for but a moment, and you must seize it when you can. And as you move on, you will have to make your own choices and commitments in your respective professions. As it was for other generations, it now falls upon you to meet the challenge of passing on a better country to those who will come after you. I hope and pray, and I am confident that you will carry on proudly, with honor and with dignity. After all, you are a Filipino, a child of the universe, a product of creation. Go forth and face that world. Your time has come. And to your beloved parents go my deepest admiration and highest respects for their indefatigable determination and unwavering commitment to the pursuit of your proper upbringing and successful education as you receive your hard-earned diplomas today. Once again, congratulations on your graduation. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat at mabuhay tayo.